Oh, are we ready? Are we ready to discuss this game? Should probably go through it in chronological order. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the review. If you're an Everton fan, we're not going to be discussing Everton an awful lot, I've got to say. We're a West Ham channel, and I'm not very happy, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of others in the chat that are not very happy at all. Gio's at the game. I feel a bit sorry for anyone that's at the game, to be honest with you. A big old journey up there, and well, they've had a realistic slap around the face today. If I could sum it up, and I've made some notes. I've got my notes here, and I'll go through them. I'll go through it all in chronological order, which is easy for me to say. I made some notes, but if I could sum it up, we made Everton look like Manchester City. We didn't really test their goalkeeper. And Theo Walcott looked like Ronaldo. But aside from that, it was all right. We'll get to your questions. We'll do this slightly differently because I'm just on my own today. So we'll get to your questions after I've run through a few things, and then we'll find out what you think. We'll have a chat about it. So for the moment, chat amongst yourselves. I'll get back to the live chat in just a bit. But it started quite brightly. I thought so anyway. Where are we? Back to the start. We'll go through the team. Roberto Fredericks, Diop, Ogbonna, Masuaku in for Cresswell. Declan Rice, Mark Noble in the middle. Perhaps the only surprise there was maybe Declan Rice because he had a bit of the flu, didn't he? He wasn't too well after the England game. He was left out of the Bulgaria game. He had a virus or something like that. So he was back. So I was quite pleased to see that in the lineup. Lanzini was playing and Anderson was playing. No surprises there. Haller was playing up front. The big surprise was Yarmolenko was on the bench and Fornals was playing. But Fornals was starting wide, and that was the key really on this at the start, certainly. Now I understand why. Sorry, let me just pull this. Sorry about this. Let me just pull that a little bit across. There you go. That helps. Believe it or not, there's some sunshine. There's some sunshine outside. Fornals was in. Yarmolenko was on the bench. I sort of understood why he would do it. Didn't agree with it, but understood why he would do it. Because, Yarmolenko had been a busy boy during the international break, so he obviously felt he needed a rest. But what was probably key was the fact that Yarmolenko had played very well during the international break. In many respects, he was our player in form. There we go. But I thought we started well. I've actually written down here, bright start. We played some good football. And I remember particularly, not for long, the game didn't go like this, but I thought there were times where Masuaku, Lanzini and Anderson would retain the ball well. They're knocking it around quite well. But we had a reality check very, very early in the game. And you might have to replay what I'm about to say here. And that was that Roberto made a very good save. I mean, a really, really good save. I think it was Davis who was through, and maybe Davis scuffed his shot a little bit, but he was still heading towards goal, and the keeper had to get down very, very quickly and very smartly to make the save, which he did. And before that, I thought we were at least their equal, just before that happened. But bearing in mind that did happen, I think it was a warning shot, a shot across the bow, something that we should have taken heed of. And we didn't. Because I tell you what, at that point, they turned into Manchester City, Barcelona. Choose what you want, but we made it easy for them to do so. Now, Everton, at that point, were creating the best chances, but we still posed a bit of a threat on the counter because we had a bit of a pacey counter attack. But what I thought had happened was I thought we were blunted down the right-hand side because Frederick's partnership with Yarmolenko has really been improving. And what Yarmolenko has been doing, he's been giving Fredericks the confidence to overlap. Fredericks didn't have that confidence with Fornals playing. Now, Fornals is not a winger. And I've said this time and time again, and I'm not entirely sure. I'm mindful that I don't want to repeat myself constantly. It sounds like a scratched record, but Fornals ain't a winger, and he shouldn't be deployed there. And we're slow and we're predictable when it does happen. And I think they cottoned on to the fact that we were slow and we were predictable because Fredericks wasn't confident enough to sort of overlap Fornals and go down that right-hand side. I think Iwobi started drifting more left. A good player, Iwobi, played very, very well today, possibly the man of the match. And because he knew Fredericks wasn't going to bomb forward at all, he knew that he sort of almost knew that Fredericks was startled. I thought it gave Iwobi confidence. He just knew that they were going to be statuesque down that side, and so he started trying to carve some opportunities there. They scored a goal, pretty much at the point where I thought, hold on, we're doing quite well here. Just after Roberto had made that fantastic save, they scored a goal. It was a lovely little slide rule pass, actually. Some people, I think, might have thought it was offside, but it wasn't. It was bang on side. And then it went to Bernard. Now, Bernard made he turned Masuaku inside out. I mean, you know, he had him like Bambi on ice. But still, I didn't feel he was in a wonderful position. He was through on goal, but there was an angle there. There was an angle to shoot at a goal. I still thought he was so close to the byline. The angle was so tight, you'd certainly favour the goalkeeper in these instances. Well, whatever happened between Roberto making that wonderful save and then it was bad goalkeeping. He let it sort of slip under him. That one place where Bernard could have scored, he did score. Roberto didn't cover himself in glory. You can blame Roberto, you can blame Masuaku, but West Ham was certainly at blame for that goal. It was a goal that never should have been scored. We were 1-0 down. And I've got to say, I will go for everything in chronological order. I've got to say, from that point, we never looked like winning the game. We never looked like threatening. I thought at that point it was easy for Everton. We had a few things going in our favour heading towards this game. And that was the fact that they were down the bottom, Everton, and the crowd were restless. The crowd were nervous. The crowd want the manager out at that point. Maybe it's different now. I don't know. I'm not an Everton fan. There were little things that we could have capitalised on. And we didn't capitalise on it, unfortunately. And what happened was we gave the crowd impetus. We allowed the crowd to become noisy. We allowed the crowd to become confident. We allowed the team to become confident. Mina and Keane, who had looked shaky, suddenly got to build some confidence. The reason they got to build some confidence was we didn't really attack them. We didn't really attack Everton. We don't make the opposition go, not just Everton's goalkeeper, any goalkeeper, really. We don't give them an awful lot to do. We don't give them an awful lot to think about. We're certainly not finishing a game with double attempts on target and things like that. What we're doing is we're trying to win a game with 5 opportunities. So what it allowed their centre-backs, who were nervous and out of form, it allowed them to feel their way into the game. There we go. Get back to my notes now. Richarlison hit the post. They also, I haven't written this down, they also had a goal. It wasn't going to be the first time, by the way. They had a goal ruled out. Actually, in the game, they had either 2 or 3 goals ruled out. One of them in the second half, very, very good goal. But they had the ball in the net a number of times. It was 2-0 today. I don't think it would be unreasonable to suggest that could have been 5-0, something like that. I don't think I'm being sensationalistic. I think it's probably fair to say. I'll get your opinions in a minute. I can see the chat's going mad. I can't stop and read it at the moment. I will jump into the chat just once we've run through the game. But I think we got away with 2-0. I think 2-0 flattered us. I think Everton were more than 2 goals better than us today. Certainly. Okay, so I've written on my notes. So I'm working from my notes here. On 25 minutes, I have written overrun and overwhelmed. That's what I felt we were at that time, clearly. Bearing in mind that's the case, and I can't be the only person that thought that. They were massively on top, Everton. Massively on top in this game. I think at that point, I was looking for a tactical switch, a change of formation, something to get them thinking. Do you know what I mean? Something to get the opposition thinking, just to change it. Because Everton were totally dominant at that point, but it still was 1-0. And at 1-0, you're still well in the game. But change it, because it was attack after attack after attack. I'm not being flippant, saying we made them look like Manchester City, but we did. They weren't They weren't like a team that were in the bottom three. They weren't like a team whose manager was under pressure. They weren't like a team whose players were out of form. To get back at them, change it up, change the tactics, do something. Nothing happened. The same formation continued. And for the remainder of the half, Everton continued to attack us. Masuaku had a bit of a knock. I thought he might have had a broken nose, actually. As I looked at it, I thought, I've had a broken nose, as you can probably tell. I've had a broken nose myself before, and I thought he's broke his nose. But I don't know, because at that point I saw Zabaleta warming up. So clearly, Pellegrini or the medical staff thought that something bad was about to happen. But anyway, it continued. It's a fair play to Arthur for doing that. But at the point, again, I've written at half-time, just before half-time, Everton were more athletic, were faster, and more skillful. Well, that's bad. That's bad in a game of football. So all you can hope is if the other team are more skillful, they're more athletic, they're faster, then you better hope that you're tactically better than them. You better hope that you've got some cunning game plan that's going to turn it around. Something to nullify their fast players. Something to bypass their strong players with skill and stuff like that. But did we have skill? No, because I looked at the stats. Our passing was 68% at that point. And at this point, we're not threatening the opposition goal. So it gets to half-time, and Pellegrini does do something. Excuse me, let me just have a sip of me tea. Beg your pardon. Pellegrini does do something. He rectifies his initial mistake. He brings Yarmolenko on, but he doesn't take Fornals off. He takes Anderson off, who had not been having a good game at all. But he does carry that pace, the threat on the counter-attack. But he took Anderson off. Some people would be happy, some people would be disappointed, some people would have wanted somebody else taken off. But he took Anderson off. There you go. Everton almost immediately had the ball in the back of the net again. It was offside, but it was a good offside. We played offside very, very well. So I think we were pleased with that. But it doesn't, from a momentum point of view, we were, the back four were congratulating each other because it was offside. They played the offside trap well. From a momentum point of view, it's not good. You've got to imagine, you get in at half-time, you're 1-0 down. The manager tries to motivate. He says, Anderson, you're off. Yarmolenko, you're on. He gives them a team talk. He wants them to come out for the second half and be motivated. And it doesn't. The moment you then concede a goal, even though it was offside, it almost crushes that momentum. Anything that you might have built up, anything that you might have said at half time, it gets watered down. It gets diluted a little bit, really, doesn't it? That being said, we went down the other end of the pitch. Yarmolenko did some good work. He managed to dribble past. He was down on his normal flank. He didn't actually cut in on his left this time. He went past the defender. I think it was Digny. And then he played the ball over with his right. And he played it to Fornals. And Fornals sort of scuffed his shot and he missed again. Pickford wasn't called into action. Pickford could have been stood there for much of the game. I reckon for a good 89 of those 90 minutes. Pickford might as well have taken his phone there today and they've done a few texts and contacted a few people on WhatsApp, updated his Twitter profile or something. He didn't have a lot to do, and at that point, that was our best opportunity, and Fornals shot it wide. Wasn't long before Fornals was off. Fornals went off. We'll come into him. I'll go through the players individually in a minute, just run through what happened in the game. Wilshere came on. I've all the stuff I've mentioned already. The next substitution was Noble offered Jetty on. So at this point, and I think it was 75 minutes, something like that. It's taken 75 minutes for him to try and change the shape. But it was almost too late. Well, it was, because they're attacking a lot at this point. Because shortly afterwards, they were through as well. Iwobi was through, straight through, knife through butter of our defence. He shot it straight at Roberto. Roberto will get credited with a save. Roberto might get credited with another save because actually the ball came in from wide a little bit later on. Diop has sort of rebounded off Diop, and Diop has almost scored an own goal, but it's basically rebounded off Roberto's face. He's deflected it over the top. interesting game. Make of what you will of Roberto's performance. That I'll be interested to see in the comments. He did make a couple of good saves. Let's be perfectly fair, and but he also did make a wicket for the goal. So I don't know what you think. The second goal, I'll get on to the second goal in a minute. He didn't have a chance for the second goal. Everton had a good goal disallowed. Mina, another goal disallowed. I mean, yeah, it's 3 times they've had the ball in the net 3 times, aside from the 2 occasions that they scored. So they had the ball in the net 5 times, Everton. Pickford saved well from Ogbonna, which was our best shot of the match. Could have made it 1-1 at that point. Shortly afterwards, goal from Sigurdsson. He sold Wilshere an absolute dummy. He shaped up like he was going to shoot with his left. I'm done with those notes now. He shaped up like he was going to shoot with his left foot and dumped Wilshere on his arse. So Wilshere slid to try and get the block, but Sigurdsson wasn't about to shoot with his left foot. It was a trick. It was a ruse. So he cut back in on his right foot. At this point, Wilshere's on the ground, lying on the ground because he tried to slide in to make the challenge. And Sigurdsson's curled in a beautiful shot. It's a lovely, lovely goal. Lovely goal. I don't blame the keeper for this. Guess what? Sigurdsson's first league goal of the season. If you're a team that is in bad form, you want to play West Ham. If you're a player that hasn't scored for a little while, you want to play against West Ham. This is just the way it goes. I'm not sure I blame anyone, but that seems to be in our DNA. Maybe there's a curse or something on the club. I don't know. I'm going to go through the players. Sorry, I threw my pad down. In temper, maybe. I'm going to go through the players. Roberto, I've discussed him. Fredericks, I've discussed him. I mean, let's just say that nobody played well. I'll get to one. Diop had a running battle with Richarlison all game, and I actually thought Diop did well. Diop had gets a lot of credit for today. It could have been a lot worse without him. And I thought he actually, at the duel with Richarlison, I thought that Diop won. Now, there's not many players in the West Ham team who've got the better of their Everton number. Not many at all. But Diop was probably one of them. Ogbonna, he'll be disappointed. He got turned inside out a few times today, but he almost scored. A lot of this performance was about the sum of our parts. It's about a certain lethargy about the team. I was on the forum, a hammerschat.com forum. I was on the forum today, and somebody basically made a joke. They said, does Pellegrini give the team a reefer before the game and pass it round? Because there's a real lethargy to the team. We don't have enough energy at all. And I think Ogbonna, I don't want to pin all the blame on him or Roberto or any one player, but actually, collectively, the other team have more energy than us. I thought it was the same against Crystal Palace as well. Rice did okay, but Rice had a part to play, actually. I thought Rice could have done a little bit better for that the second goal as well before it went over, before Wilshere got planted on his arse. But Rice was one of the better players today. I thought Rice was one of the better players. Noble he just wasn't in the game really today, which is a real shame because I thought he was going to do well today. And I watched an interview with him before it, and he interviewed really, really well. Lanzini, aside from the past 15 minutes, Masuaku, Lanzini, and Anderson played quite well. I mean, it was bad. It's bad performance from Lanzini. He could have gone off. He could have been the one taken off. Any one of them. Anderson went off at half time. Any one of them could have done. Fornals could have been Lanzini. It could have been any number of them. Talking of Fornals, I don't really know what to say. I think we're stuck. I think we're stuck with it. I don't even remember. In fact, every manager sort of favours a player and fancies a player in a certain position, and they just play him there. I remember when Big Sam signed Joe Cole, when we signed Joe Cole back, I thought, oh, brilliant. And it was an older Joe Cole, so it was Joe Cole in his 30s, but he still had all the skills, the tricks, the pirouettes, the nutmegs, the slide rule pass. And he picked Joe Cole and he just played him on the left wing. I thought, what are you doing? He's not a left winger. He's just not a left winger. Play him in the middle where we need some creativity and let him open things up. But anyway, that was that. But you could pick every manager who seems to highlight a player and plays him in a certain position, and that's that. I'm afraid this is what we've got with Pellegrini. Pellegrini quite likes deploying Fornals wide. You better get used to it, by the way. You better get used to it. This will not be the last time that we jump on a video or you jump in the live chat and you you know, and you you know, and we talk about Fornals being wide. It's going to continue to happen. Anderson, I've already discussed. We're going to get on to Sebastian Haller now. I am actually probably going to get rid of the pad now. Sebastian Haller is significantly our best player by a long, long way. He might be we've got myself and Gio have got a video coming out soon where we discuss whether players are elite, whether they're world class, whether and not just West Ham. We discuss a few players. I don't think Haller is quite world class, but I think he's an elite player. He must be wondering what the hell's gone on, because at Frankfurt he was supplied and he was supported and he had players around him. That's not what he's got at West Ham. He must be looking around thinking, what on earth is going on? I wouldn't be surprised if he's doubting why he joined the club. That would not surprise me at all. He's not got comparable players around him. I think there are players in there. I think Lanzini is a good player and can be a good player. I think Felipe Anderson, as you all know, regular watchers, think he can be a good player and he is a good player. Yarmolenko is a good player. I'm just talking about attacking players now. I think there are ways tactically to get players around Sebastian Haller. So if we just, for argument's sake, we all agree that Sebastian Haller is our best player. Let's just say that, suppose, even if you don't agree with it. If he's our best player, then if you've got your best player, then you've really got to play to their strengths and get players around them. Sebastian Haller is a poacher. He's a finisher. He's also a target man. He can head the ball really well. And he can hold the ball up, which means if he holds the ball up, if people are close to him, he can lay it off either side. Are we getting the best out of him, bearing in mind those three things? No, not at all. And I bet he's very, very frustrated. Now, you could look at the statistics and say, well, hold on, he's scored some goals this season. Yes, he has. But I guarantee he's not enjoying his football anywhere near as much as he was at Frankfurt. And here's really where we get to it. I bet when he joined West Ham, he didn't think he would be playing in a team where he would have, for instance, today, no chances. And this is where we are. And this is where we are with West Ham, by the way. We are not a team. We're not an attacking team. We don't play attacking football. I'm sorry to say we don't play attacking football. We do not outshoot the opposition. We're not out passing the opposition. There's an awful lot we're not doing. And I do believe I would like to see Pellegrini's final roll of the dice in terms. I want him to have another transfer window because I want to see what his vision is, what his philosophy actually is. But we can't get away at the moment from the fact that this is Pellegrini's team. This is his team. You can pick out one or two players that maybe he didn't purchase, but by and large, this is his team. Okay, there are enough players in the squad there that he can play who he wants. So I do believe they're playing in the ethos and they're playing in the philosophy that Pellegrini wants them to. But I never thought for a moment that it would be quite as defensive as it is, if you like. Leading up to the season, if you watch any of our videos in the lead up to the season, I actually thought we were going to be losing 5-4, things like that. I thought we'd let a lot in and we'd score a lot. That's not really happening. There's no adventure to us, actually. We don't dominate opposition defences as much as we should, bearing in mind we've got some technical players and we've got some good players. And it's just not good enough, quite frankly. Just going back, just my final thoughts on it, because I don't want to make this anything more than an Everton review, but it is frustrating. I feel frustrated, and I know a lot of you are going to feel frustrated as well. I never felt that. I never thought we would finish anywhere above mid-table this season. And that's why I went a little bit mental in the cups, you know, when we went out the cup, because I always feel the cup is our best chance. We're West Ham United. We're not Manchester City. Our best chance of a bit of glory is to win a cup. Our best chance to win some silverware is in a cup. And if I'm not too bothered about Europa League and the rest of it, but if what you want as a fan is for us to qualify for the Europa League, I think the best opportunity is through the cup, because we're nowhere near a top 6 team. I didn't buy into the fact that it was happening. And I said on one of the videos, I said after the Crystal Palace game and after the Everton game, if we're still in this position, we're going to have to reevaluate. I'm going to have to reevaluate where we are, because if we're still up in the top 4, I'm going to have to start believing myself. Well, unfortunately, it's not happened like that. And what I suspected to be true is true. Since we went out of the cup and we got thumped by Oxford reserves, we put out a second string. We put out a reserve team so as we could concentrate on the league. We've got 1 point from 3 games. And I don't carry much. What have we got next? Burnley, Sheffield United, something like that. I don't carry much confidence forwards, I've got to say, because they're both going to be more physical than us, and we don't like it. We don't like it when teams are more physical than us. And at the moment, we don't particularly look like we can outskill teams. It's not the end of the world, by the way. And I'm maybe not as angry as some, because we're exactly where I thought we would be. I thought we'd go through the season and we'd win about 13 games, draw about 13 games, lose the rest, or whatever, something like that. You know, if we're lucky, I think that's the standard we're at. A lot of our players are not half as good as we think they are and they think they are. Some of them can be on their day, but not consistent enough. And today was one of those days. And that's my opinion of it. I'm gonna jump to the chat and see what you're saying. I'll say it in the chat. And someone's blaming my man cave. It's nothing to do with me. Thank you very much. Don't blame me. Blame the players. Okay, let's just blame the manager. Blame who you want. Just going to slow the chat down a little bit. So we got. Do we think Fornals deserves his place in the first team? Look, it's a bigger thing. I'll go on today, and I'll try and keep it to today. Fornals didn't look at Premier League pace today. Let's just say that. He did get into a couple of goal-scoring positions. I'll say that. I think if there is a player in there, and there may be a player in there, it certainly ain't a winger. And that would be my opinions on that. Do I think the time is up for Pellegrini? Poor play. Yeah. I think the time is up for Pellegrini. I want to see Pellegrini. I want to see him see out his contract, okay? I suspect that it ain't going to work out. That's my own opinion. But not only can I be wrong, I am frequently wrong. So I might got it wrong. We might go on a run. I suspect we won't. But Pellegrini has to take ownership today, because it's his decision to bench Yarmolenko. It's his decision to play Masuaku ahead of Krasnodar. As I say, this is Pellegrini's team. So he has to take responsibility for this. He also has to take, it's his team, it's his half-time talk. He has to take responsibility for the fact that directly after half-time, Everton come and bang the ball in the net. Yes, it was disallowed. But what I'm saying is, after both managers have done the half-time team talks, Silva's team is the one that comes out with the momentum. So Pellegrini's got to take ownership for that. But I don't want to do any big picture. Pellegrini's got to be sacked. I'm not saying that. But I do suspect. Look, we're not getting. When we signed Pellegrini up, I thought we were going to get attacking, free-flowing football. We're not. Okay, so that's going to have to change. It may well be that it takes one more transfer window for us to get the football that we were promised or we hoped we were going to get. I suspect, even with another transfer window, we may well be seeing exactly the same sort of football as we're seeing now. But we do, not only do we owe it to ourselves to do that, we owe it to Pellegrini to do that, and we owe it to the very fact that we're paying somebody. I think he's in the top 4 highest paid managers in the Premier League. If you employ somebody and you bring his coaching team in, and you bring his director of football in, by the way, not even ours, his director of football in, you might as well back him. You can't keep chopping and changing your manager. And I do think we'll finish mid-table. My disappointment with Pellegrini, as I said, otherwise I just keep talking about the cups all the time. I think that's for me. It's Pellegrini's biggest flaw, and I don't like that at all. Where am I going? Excuse me. You have to excuse me. This live chat. It's Felipe Anderson. Look, Jazza wants to talk about Felipe Anderson. Is he? I think he's saying, is he invisible? He's asking, is he sat on that white chair? Bad game for Felipe Anderson. There's no doubt about it. Okay. Frankie's in the chat here. He says, I will back the Pellegrini out. He said from the start. He's an old has-been. He was semi-retired in China. He never does anything. If you can't see his plan by now, you never will. He's clueless. I'll tell you now about Frankie. Frankie calls Pellegrini Fagin, old Fagin, and it makes me chuckle every time he says it. But yeah, he's right. He's never. I will back him up. He's never ever fancied him. Okay. Poor tactics. The play was slow. No pressing the opposition. No chance of top 4, top 6, or even 10. Says John Cook. We don't press, do we, John? That's true. I don't know. It's quite funny because almost every manager now presses. It's like it's a new thing. I remember Sacchi doing it for AC Milan in the 80s, a team with Maldini, Franco Baresi, Roberto Donadoni, Rijkaard and Hullet and all of that lot. They press. So the press is not a new concept. But in modern terms, everybody presses now. It is very much the mod. It's 5 in midfield and it's pressing. We don't seem to press. Victor says we try to play counter-attacking football with such slow players. Rice is not a midfielder. He's better at centre-half. What I would like to see, I totally agree about the pace. Too many times I bang on about this. We don't have enough pace in the team. And you struggle to play counter-attacking football without it. Too many of our players are slow. But I think, here's the point. I think Pellegrini likes slow players. Not that he particularly goes out to find slow players, but I think he likes just players with technique. He doesn't care what pace they are because he wants to play possession-based football. I don't think he wants to counter-attack. I think he wants to tap the ball around and pass the ball around and pass the ball around. The fact of the matter is we're not very good at it. So he doesn't. We don't actually keep possession that much. So what's the point? It's not working. Actually, you might as well counter-attack. Well, we don't have any pace in the team. Haller, for all his qualities, not fast. So the two players either side of him, better number one, be fast, and number 2, better be close to him. I don't know what we're playing at the moment, but here we go. Look in the chat. There's a few Pellegrini outs, and I am mindful that it's that you win your next game, and then it all changes. And I'm also mindful that when particularly when I did my rant after us going out to Oxford and said he's thrown it and all the rest of it, there were a lot of comments from everybody saying, well, hold on, no, this is the modern way. I don't agree. With Pellegrini's right to do this. We're in a chance of top 4 and he's got to consolidate. He's got to do this. So there's a lot of fans in favour of what Pellegrini's done here. But I just think when you throw a cup competition, which is what he did, you've got to then, the reason for you throwing it is to concentrate on the league. You've got to win those games. You can't rest everybody in the cup and then your next 3 games only take 1 point because it means your plan has failed. It's completely failed. And now we're nowhere. And I'll tell you what, I bet we wish we were in the quarterfinals of the League Cup now, don't we? We don't have a chance now because obviously we can't do anything because we're out. What else have we got here? Sorry, I wanted to come to this, and it was about Declan Rice and the central midfield. I would play Rice at centre-back again, but I'd play him in a 3 if we were playing 3 centre-backs. And it would be, I mentioned Franco Baresi earlier on. I would almost play him in his role because he's got better technique and better passing than most centre-backs. So I'd play him as the central one or almost deploy a sweeper in that sense and allow him to come forward and make up the extra number in midfield. There's no flexibility in our system. You felt today that when he went to the 4-4-2, it was desperation. You also felt, I don't know what I felt, so not talking for you folks out there, I felt he doesn't want to. He's thinking, all right, a bit Kevin teenager-ish, I've got to go to 4-4-2. I will. And he does it, and he goes to 4-4-2. I don't feel his mind is buzzing with changing it, changing the shape, changing the positions in the pitch where different people are. So I can want three at the back all I want. We're not going to get it, which is why I don't talk about it very much indeed. I think just bearing it, I just want something different. I want something better. I want to feel that we're in a game, and I never felt that we were in a game today. And if that was an isolated game, it's fine. But I think on the back of that, get back at Crystal Palace, Bournemouth wasn't a terrible performance, by the way. We had some good players. Rice, Cresswell, Yarmolenko were really good against Bournemouth, and it's a tough place to go. That wasn't a tough place to go today. I didn't think so anyway. They were there for the taking. Yeah, and I think he did. I think he did go there, and we had a good first 10 minutes. You watch that game back, but we had a good first 10 minutes. So I think he probably did say, look, get at them early, quieten the crowd down, and do all the stuff and make the manager nervous. And I think we probably did. I think we looked to threat up to a point, just that final little bit. That's the final pass, the final scoring of the goal is badly lacking, and this is something that I'm very, very surprised about. Let's have a look at a couple more comments. So this is John Italiano, 1985, says we're always trying to score perfect goals, get some crosses and lobs into the box for Haller to clean up. I mean, this is absolutely right, isn't he, John? There, he's absolutely right. Look, I'm going to go into a lot of this in a lot more detail in the week. I'm going to continue to do some questions, but I'm going to do so on the forum channel during the week. If you don't know, have a look underneath. There's a link in it. We got a second channel. We got this channel and we got the forum channel. We upload loads and loads of videos on both channels. Lots. Gio is going to be on the forum channel later. He's at the game. Poor Gio. He had a night out with West Ham Fan TV and a few of the boys, and Ray Boreham. A lot of you will know Ray Boreham from the chat. We went up and met Ray last night. I think they had a lovely night, but not so much lovely day. So the bigger picture about Pellegrini, because otherwise it's going to turn into a Pellegrini thing. We'll deal with that. We will deal with that on the forum channel. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to both channels, this channel and the forum channel. Then you'll get your notifications when we upload both videos. The link is literally under the screen where I'm talking now. Well, not under me. There's nothing much under there. Pardon the expression. But what John is saying is not about Pellegrini. It is absolutely right about we've got this wonderful target man in there and not getting any crosses in at all. Not good. Not good. What else we got? Make a Hammers Chat gaming channel. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Me and Gio are going to have a one-off game of FIFA where you will see who the master is quite clearly. But we're not going to turn ourselves into a gaming channel. Don't worry. Corky says he feels sorry for Haller, a top player, and is left as a frustrated figure because of a lack of support. I totally agree. I couldn't agree more. Seaside Hammer says presumably Rice wouldn't have played today if, like Yarmolenko, played 2 internationals. I don't know. I mean, crikey. There's only one way that could have been worse today, and that's with Carlos Sanchez in the middle. Can you imagine that? Jazz is asking what identity do we have, or what is Pellegrini trying to do? That is a separate video. I do think that's a separate video. We'll look into that. We've got an Everton fan in here. He said we've got good players. Unlucky today. He's saying Everton just raised their game, and Gomez is quality. That's very kind of you to come in and say nice words. Thank you for that. You deserved the win, by the way. And Gomez was very good, very, very good. The best midfielder on the pitch, clearly. I don't think anyone disagrees with that. Craig says everyone was saying we had a really good start to the season. It's simply not the case. We've only beaten 3 teams this season, and they're all teams who are just playing crap, like Man United. Fair enough. Can't argue with that, really, can you? Norman says, is Haller all that? Well, I think he is. I think he's comfortably our best player. I just don't think we're giving him the necessary support. Phil Kent says, what would I do differently if given a chance? So much, Phil, so much. So too much to go into. Really, I'd get more pace in the team. I'd get more. I'd have an athlete in the middle. That's for sure. I'd certainly change things tactically. There's no doubt about that. I'd get people up close to Haller. Almost given a partner, even if you didn't call it a striker. He would have a partner, someone right next to him. Lanzini is overrated. Spurs are losing, says Lord Jimmy. What's the time? 3:15. Spurs are losing again, are they? It's 3:15. Oh, dear. Oh, well. You know what? Thanks, Jazz. Spurs are losing to Watford. I've got to say, much as I like Spurs losing, it's hard to take pleasure in anything when West Ham are just lost. Corky says, well done to Everton. They really looked up for the game, unlike us. Wish them the best for all the season. Everton played very, very well today. DJ Blokey's only just logged on. He's gutted about the result. Another team we need to be beating. Schizo Base came and joined me for the game. My friend there came and joined us. Came over from Ireland and joined us for the game. A good man. He said some of the things being pointed out by yourself and others must be visible to the management and even the team. The players seem unable to respond what's in front of them. Yeah, I don't know. It's visible to everybody. I mean, the chat seems to be in pretty much an agreement on almost everything. Charlie Wall says, Gonzo, who would start in midfield today? Listen, I've got to apologise, but that Charlie's not here. Well, he's here, but he's in the chat. I can't run the software that Geo uses. If I'd have tried to do that, we would have been waiting half hour. It probably would have gone wrong. So, because Geo, when we do the videos where everyone's split and different people are, someone's over there, someone's over there, someone's over there, Geo actually hosts it. So it's all running through his laptop, and it's very complicated, quite frankly. And there you go. So otherwise, Charlie would have been sat the other side of the screen. If Charlie lived near me, he'd be sat in that chair. We'd have a little. That would be nice, actually. That would be nice. I'd like to have a video, do it, a chat, actually, a live chat rather than one on the webcam. Who would I play midfield? I mean, there was a lot of choice today, Charlie. I think it's more an ethos than personnel, really, mate, to be honest with you. I still would have played Noble. Still would have played Rice. Still would have played Lanzini. I think the point is we don't have a lot of pace for them to ping. We don't. Not one of them is getting close enough to Haller on a regular basis. This chair, Charlie, this chair is a spongy chair and it's got a swivel on it. Another one there. Look, you're very welcome, mate. You're very welcome. You can come over here and play FIFA with me, Charlie, with my new team. Do you know, I've got to say, Charlie accused me of, no, he didn't accuse me of cheating. Gio accused me of cheating the other day. So I'm playing a FIFA career, and it's a career, right? It's a career. So I'm West Ham, but you get a transfer budget. And apparently I was cheating because I signed Jadon Sancho. Well, we needed a right winger. We needed a quick one. What I'm saying in this is what I've done with my FIFA team. Apparently I should have kept it realistic. I don't know, signed Ryan Fraser or something like that. I don't know. But I mean, anyway, so that's it. I'm not cheating, am I? I'm trying to get West Ham. I'm showing the ambition and a tactical acumen that is not prevalent in real life. And let's be fair, this is real life for West Ham. Today, losing to Everton. When I click on the Xbox, I want real life. I want to pretend West Ham are winning something. Anyway, what are we doing here? If I can't read that out. We've got some good players now, in my opinion, says Phil Kent. Just the manager is not bringing the best out of them. And Eric says, I'm going to finish up in a minute because we're going for 45 minutes. Eric says we need Holland and Dean Garner. I mean, bring a different something, wouldn't it? Bring a different dynamic. That's for sure. Too slow. We didn't contest it today. I will finish up. I'll finish up saying this. I'll tell you what I might do. I'll have a look. If Gio hasn't uploaded, because he might struggle to upload an instant reaction. Because I'm mindful that people do want to chat about this. Please, you can chat about this on our forum on hammerschat.com. I am mindful that he's uploaded it. Gio's just uploaded it. There you go. What's he doing in the chat? Poor old Gio. He's in the chat. Gio is in the chat now. He says West Ham Forum. He's just uploaded an instant reaction. I thought he was excited for today. Go and watch Gio. I'm going to stop. Go and watch. Let's see what Gio has to say about it. I'm going to go and watch it as well. Anyway, listen. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We've got a video going up tomorrow, which is myself and Gio discussing. What are we discussing? We're discussing the various merits of strikers in the Premier League. That's on the forum channel as well. Search for the video now. Don't forget to subscribe to both. Myself and Gio will be back. Me and Gio need to have a chat about this. We'll be back with a cup of tea this week, won't we, Gio? Hello, Gio? Gio? We'll be back this week, won't we? We'll be back this week on this channel with a cup of tea. We need a cup of tea. Oh, I've got a cup of tea, a flask of tea in here. Anyway, listen, thank you very much for joining me. I am sorry to bring you such a miserable old review. Sorry that I'm on my own. Sorry that Charlie is stuck in the chat. And there we go. Thank you for joining us. Jump on, watch Gio now. I'll say goodbye to you. I'm going to try and end the stream. See you later. Join in. Comments underneath. And there we go. Onwards and upwards. I'll catch up with you later. See you later.